I'm like, Stella who? Stannis what? And I walked in and I handed her my headshot. And I'm scrambling, right? And I'm like, oh God, I don't have a headshot. And she's like, we're going to need to do something about this. And I'm like, okay. And I'm Googling Naomi Woods. I'm like, he's like, you got a problem, dude. And I'm like, and then we both look up and everybody's just bawling. And we're like, oh, I guess it works. At our local high school, at the public high schools, like people would take their boats to school. The school had a dock.
Wait, actually?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Jordan Whitrock Show. I'm your host, Jordan Whitrock, and today we have a guest in the making, someone that I think we chatted like beginning of this quarter or winter quarter, something like that, and it was just like, hey, if you ever want to, and through conversating, realize that this was something that would be awesome for both of us. So I'm really curious on not only his acting career, but also like his music career and his fashion career. So without further ado, let's welcome to the show, Davis Hattaway. Woo!
Thank you for having me, man.
Bro, it's so funny because I was like, because you're leaving, you're graduating, congratulations.
Thank you.
But I was like, damn, if I don't get him now, I'm never gonna get him.
It's been a battle.
But so I just found this out though through talking with you that you only took 3 years here at SCAD to leave, which I think is cool and awesome. But I just did not see that. What was that experience for you, or was that something that you were like, no, I'm totally down, I'm ready to get out of here?
It was kind of by accident, in all honesty. I mean, I was not planning on coming in as a sophomore, which I did. Yep. I had always been super academic, and my parents were always pushing the importance of academics in high school, and it was always really competitive in high school for me with my friends and going to like a college prep high school, and my brother was always super academically like into it, and so I kind of manufactured this competition in my brain, so I started taking a lot of APs and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Working really hard, and then got here and I was like, I guess I'm a sophomore now. Living in the hive with everybody else that's the same age as me, but it was just like yeah. And so it's been funny now, is like telling all my friends from freshman year, they're like, wait, you're graduating? I'm like, yeah, I'm leaving.
You guys saw us in Showcase, right?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So then, where are you from, country wise?
So I grew up in Florida. When I was really young, we bounced around a little bit. Okay. I was born in Indiana and then moved to North Carolina for a little while, and then I grew up in Florida from when I was about probably 5 or 6.
Okay.
So that's really all I've really known.
Yep.
But yeah, most of my family's from Georgia, which is also a big reason of why I wanted to come to SCAD and be in Georgia. My brother was going to the University of Georgia, and he just recently graduated. Okay. So I was like, I mean, I love my family, but I was like, this is perfect because it's kind of an inconvenient drive. It's like, it's far, it's close enough that they could visit,
or if like an emergency, you could get there.
Right, yep. But it's far enough that like they would probably like have to plan it.
Yeah,
you know.
Yep.
So that was kind of my.
That's real though, because for me, my undergrad, I was 30 minutes away, and I commuted 3 out of my 4 years. 1 year, I was like, I gotta move out. I can't be here. And then had a terrible experience. I was like, please take me back. And they did, But it was like, but for me, I was like, coming to Savannah, I'm from Wisconsin, right? So it's like 17 and a half hours. You're not. And so like things have come up where I'm like, this wasn't supposed to happen while I'm 17 hours and I can't be home to like help out or problems, whatever. And so I think that's been like hard for me. So I'm excited for the summer to come and be able to go back home for those 3 months or whatever,
for sure.
And whatnot.
I thought I would definitely be home more after moving off campus, but having a place here, I mean, like I'm still paying my lease, so it's like I guess I'll just still keep working and make some money, hopefully.
What's your? I know we're jumping around here, but was music your first love or was acting your first love?
Probably. It was so intertwined. I mean, I've always loved music, and I've always been so surrounded by it. Yeah. And I've always sang. I never really took singing lessons. I never really. Same. I was in choir in 7th grade, and after like 1 year of it, I was like, there was like 3 guys in it, and I was like, this isn't really my vibe. So I stopped doing that. But like when I remember being. When I lived in North Carolina, I remember there was my dad gave me this big MP3 player, and he made a playlist called Songs You Should Know. And so I like grew up around like was Jimi Hendrix and the Rolling Stones and the Doors and the Allman Brothers and Marshall Tucker and like all the stuff that he grew up on. So I was always super surrounded by it. By him, and he did the normal like name that artist thing in the car whenever we're playing together or anything like that. So I grew up around it a ton, and then came to find out that my grandfather was actually in a band.
Really?
When they were living in Warner Robins, and then they moved to Florida to be with my brother and I, and he found another band down in Florida. So as I started getting more into the bar scene and stuff, I mean, I was super young. I started playing live when I was probably 12.
Wow. And guitar is your main instrument?
Guitar's the first one I learned for sure.
Yep.
And then he let me start playing with him, and I started playing more open jams around town and started picking up my own gigs. Eventually got a band together.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's kind of been.
That's so cool.
And then picked up acting. I mean, acting was.
Yeah.
I did theater in high school and middle school, but never really took it seriously.
Was that something where you did like straight plays, or did you do? It was like musicals. Like for me, it was like musicals was kind of all you really did.
Yeah, it was mostly musicals. Okay. They did straight plays at my high school, but I never really got into them.
Yeah.
Because there was like, it was kind of this unspoken thing where it was like there was an advanced acting class and then there was a musical theater class, and the advanced acting class did the plays and the musical theater class did the musicals. And I knew I wanted to do the musicals, but I didn't have space in my schedule for the advanced acting class. I luckily had the opportunity to do a couple of the plays just because they needed people that weren't in the class. So that I ended up being able to do that, but I haven't really done any major just straight plays, which is why I was so excited to audition for the Crucible, because I was like, this would be a great like first intense like good straight play to do, but I've never really had the opportunity.
Gosh, you.
Yeah.
When you say musicals, are you a baritone? Is that your voice?
Yeah, I'm a bari bass.
Okay. I can hear the resonance, but I was like, is that also just like how I talk? But then when I sing, it's completely different.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm very blessed to have a pretty wide range, and I think I get it from my granddad. I mean, my granddad is a true bass. I mean, he sings so deep, and it was funny in 7th grade when I was in choir. Like I started the year as a soprano and finished as a like baritone tenor. Like I just moved like in the room. I physically moved around slowly to the other part of the room. But yeah, now I actually have a pretty wide range now. I would be a tenor if I had an A. And I don't have an A. I have up to a G sharp and just can't quite break that.
I just had a vocal assessment because I've been like, I'm just kind of baritone. Like I'm not that low, so I can't really sing true bass. I can sing pretty low. But what I've always said is like, if you've given me music and I have to learn like a musical and it's high, I can practice it and I'll get there. But I just don't naturally sing right there.
I don't like my falsetto. I think I don't love it.
Really? I love my falsetto. But
like I grew up with one of my best friends, Gabe. He was a true tenor, and he didn't have a falsetto. He had a mixed voice.
Wow.
He didn't have.
What's the difference between a mixed voice and a falsetto?
I don't entirely know, but I know that it is that point. It's like basically you're killing the break. So like as you sing up in the scale, you don't have that flip from your chest voice into your head voice, and so that little area there is your mixed voice.
So he just kind of gets stuck
It's just straight through. Like there is no flip.
Yeah. He just maxes out.
He's just insane.
That's crazy.
He was the lead every year.
I was going to say, I'm like, that's like the dream because you don't have to worry about it breaking or anything.
He transferred to our high school sophomore year.
Okay.
So sophomore year, and we did Bright Star sophomore year.
Gotcha.
And he came in, and during auditions, like there were random people walking through, and they're like, who is this guy? And I'm like, that's my best friend. That's who that is.
He doesn't know me yet, but we're
going to be best friends.
Yeah.
And like, meanwhile, I'm sitting there thinking like I'm the best singer in the class. And I'm also kind of upset. I'm like, damn, there go my dreams.
Well, I've fallen into this. My knowledge of musicals is so small that
Same.
like, and then the ones that I do like, I'm like, there's not even a character that fits me. So it's like I can't even sing that.
Yeah. Like if it tells you anything, my dream role is like Billy Elliot, and like that's never gonna happen. I'm 6'4", American. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
I
transpose
can't do ballet.
It a couple times.
What are we talking about? But I love that role.
I feel like, would you learn though ballet if you got that chance to do that?
Absolutely.
Role? Yeah, so you could do ballet.
Absolutely, but I think I'm much too tall.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I think so. Then in my vocal, they were like, he was like, I would say you're a Barry, but like very tenor if you got to work, because I've never had vocal trainings. Like, but like I can tell within your voice you could be there easily. So I was like, okay, that makes me feel good, because at first I was like, damn, I'm just like mediocre, and there's no songs. Right. There's like all the contemporary songs, at least it feels like. We had this. That's how we met. We met in the hallway during an audition, and we got talking about stuff, and I was like, yeah, I just can't find music, and you're like, me either, but.
Well, it's so discouraging too, because like not having that classical training, you don't know like where you really fit in that musical world.
Yeah.
And like I grew up singing in bars. I didn't grow up like my vocal warm up is very frowned upon. Like
you want to break it down?
There really isn't one. It's like now, and they're like, do your cool down, use a nebulizer, and like I'm talking with my friend who graduated last year, and he's like, you need a nebulizer, and I'm like, what is that? And he's like, I'll send you a link. And I'm like, that's $100. I'm not wasting $100 on that. I go, we might have to cut this. Although I was at the Grove the other day just chilling because a buddy of mine was coming to play.
Okay, yep.
And he called me and he was like, dude, my voice it's terrible. I didn't know I was playing today. Like, I feel horrible. I go, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to a gas station. You're going to get yourself a bag of plain Lay's chips. Plain Lay's potato chips. Okay. Eat half. You're going to feel so much better. He's like, I've been chugging tea all day. If this shit works, I'm going to feel so stupid. And I go, just trust. And he goes in and he calls me. He sends me a video. He sends me a video on Snapchat. And he's like, this is insane, dude. I don't know how you figured this out. I go, I think it's that the salt breaks the phlegm and then the oil like coats like your throat. And it works. It's amazing.
That's okay. Well, because we just went through the whole process of auditioning for like MT and stuff. And I was in the boat of talking with, students helping me, and then hearing through the grapevine through professors. They were like, we don't want to hear any of those songs that you have. And I'm like, shit.
So what do you want?
I'm like, damn, that's what I do good. And like, I also understand, like, don't get me wrong, my songs aren't like amazing, but I'm like, shit, you don't even want a single one. Like, we have two choices. You don't know. And so then it was like a mad dash to like first try to find something new, and then also they're like, it's always that classic like, we want to see you take risk, and it's like, what does that mean, And so then
that's so weird because when I auditioned for Showcase, they were saying don't take risks. They were saying I didn't audition for MT, so I don't
got you.
But they were saying don't take risks. They were like, do what you do best.
Yeah.
Do what you do best.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, so I'll do a monologue I wrote. Like,
yeah,
that's me. I wrote that character. Like, I wrote that to be me. Like, it doesn't get more me than that. So that's crazy to hear that they wanted you to take risks.
So then it was just like that mad dash of doing it, but because then you have to rehearse. So then it's like, okay, I have 4 songs. Now we just have to sing all 4 until we figure out which combination works the best. Right. So then I felt like by the time I was auditioning, I was like, damn, my throat kind of hurts. So I should have had a bag of Lay's chips right there.
I guess so, bro. But I also think that's one of those things that you don't like. Your vocal teacher's not going to teach you that.
Yeah.
They're not going to you're not going to step into a vocal.
Make sure you grab your Lay's on your way out.
Yeah, right. You're not going to. I'm sure Jasper would lose his mind if he heard this. But again, that's like the thing of like growing up in bars. Like you learn all these crazy different hacks from things. Like I have a friend. I say a friend. He's more of a mentor. He's like 60-something years old. Where before every show he does a shot of Rumple, slams a Red Bull, and then he has one more thing. But it's like, and I'm like, whatever works, dude.
That's crazy.
Whatever works.
I like you saying you grew up kind of singing in bars. Like for me, I think I always just grew up singing in the house. The house always had music. And kind of like your dad was like, name the group, that's what my dad would do. Mm-hmm. And so it's just like, you just got used to hearing so much music and different types of music. Like, blessed that my dad had a wide range and it wasn't like, the Doobie Brothers and that was it. It's it was a wide range.
Who were great, by the way.
Great group. I was just listening before the episode. But no, but it's just like, I don't have, and I think that's part of that, like, I just don't have experience. I just never had like a true mentor to be like, hey, here's like how I would do it. Even with my trumpet lessons and stuff like that, I took in undergrad. It's like, here's the lip slurs. You're going to go up and down. And then when you end, you're going to end it low. And if you really feel tired, like then take your mouthpiece off of your trumpet and then buzz your mouthpiece. It's like there's a whole process or whatever. Right. It's like, not that I followed it, but sorry, Marty. Sorry, Marty, Dr. Marty. But yeah, no, it's just like kind of fascinating. Okay. But anyway, so high school, it's kind of where you were introduced to theater vibes.
Yeah. And it was very different because I never felt like I was particularly good at acting.
Yeah.
We would do shows or whatever. Like, I remember doing Big Fish, and I wasn't really getting acting notes at the end of rehearsals. Like she would, our director, MC, love you MC, would give notes to a lot of people, and I never really felt like I was getting a lot of notes. And I kind of interpreted it as like, well, I guess I'm just kind of a lost cause. Come to find out, like, she really didn't have any notes. Yep. Like, she really was like, yeah, you're doing fine. And it wasn't until the summer between my junior and senior year of high school that I did the Rising Star program here. And I took acting for film, the 199 class with Professor Scott Smith.
Okay.
And at midterms, he was like, so like, what do you like want to do? And I was like, well, I don't know. Like, I have this music thing going, and I have this graphic design thing going. Like, I really was into graphic design in high school as well. I just don't really know. And he goes, so what do you think about acting? And I was like, well, I enjoy it, but I don't know. I don't know if it's really my thing. He's like, no, you should consider this. Like, you're good at this. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, you could. And ultimately, he was the reason that I ultimately decided to major in acting and come to SCAD like with all that, because he said said you should consider this. And I was like, all right, maybe I don't suck.
Well, you know what's interesting? Like, my whole same thing. Maybe that's the imposter syndrome. I was like, I'm entertaining, but I don't think I'm good. But then all the feedback from everyone was like, oh, you're so good. Like, you could.
But in your head, you're going, oh, they have to say that.
Exactly. Like through, obviously, it's like through more training, you could get to the level where it's like you walk on set and you're good. You know. And I think I just never believed that. Until even the fact of like graduating undergrad and being like, I don't know, I don't want to run camera for news at 3 a.m. So what do I want to do? And it's like, oh, I liked acting. Like, I think this is something I want to do. Then coming, talking to Scott and SCAD and all that kind of stuff. And then being here and then being like, okay, now there's a process to it. Cause I didn't learn a process. And I'm like,
that was the other thing. I didn't realize that there was actually like, I came to SCAD and didn't realize that there was like actually like a right way to be an actor. Like, I just thought it was something that people did. And like, it was like lucky. And I'm like, Stella who? Stannis what? And they're like, no, like, this is a real thing and you need to lock in. I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
It's like,
I do my Meisner. Like, I do my repetition.
I just had, it's so funny because like me coming before here, I don't know what I was talking about, but I just had a meeting with the professor where it's like, it's me being like, this is the first character. I'm so frustrated. I'm like, this is the first character I feel like I'm being stumped here at SCAD. Like, I can't break it down at this point in the rehearsal process. And she's kind of just smiling. She's like, yeah, I know. Like this. And I'm like,
it sucks. Why are you doing this?
And it's like, no, I totally get it. It's like actually really good because you're going to have that happen in the industry. But it was just like the conversation we were able to have because I had not only the terminology, but the understanding was like, oh, this is like so cool to have this with this person who is, at their best.
Well, and I love the work with when you have a scene and you're working with a scene partner that you respect and is a very generous actor or actress, and you can really get into the nitty-gritty and ask the questions of why does this person feel this way? Why are they doing this? Yeah. Why do I want this from you? What do I want from you? Like, I love that work and that just getting into it before you're shooting. Yeah. I mean months in advance, Yep. That was my favorite part of the showcase process, frankly, was getting to sit down with Stella and really break out what that relationship meant and where it came from and what led to the breakup and how we met and what we did for a living and why it meant so much, and figuring out like, oh, I was really good friends with your dad because we were both in the military. We were both Marines. We met in an airport because you're a flight attendant and I was coming back from deployment in Japan. And that's why that line about Japan matters, because you've always wanted to go to Japan, but you've never been. And we talked closely about, hey, maybe one day we can go to Japan together. Yeah. And maybe I had the opportunity, maybe in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to take you to Japan and we're going to propose. And that's why that line, when she says, I'm starting flying international starting in January. And I'm like, no way, Japan. And I'm just like, well, what does Japan mean? And it all broke into this massive backstory that actually gave it meaning and gave it something actable.
Okay, so you sound like you use Stella Adler. Is that your main or no?
I feel like I feel like it's an amalgamation of a lot of them. Okay. I really like the emotional prep, and Prosky helped me with that a lot. Yep. For that scene especially. I mean, that scene was, I don't know if you got to see it, but that... No.
And you're talking showcase, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that scene was heavy. And it's funny the way that it came about, because Stella and I had never met, and it was like the second day of showcase in the fall, and I got a text from her, and I guess Kaylee Carter had texted her the sides, said, "Hey, read this with either Davis or somebody else."
Yep.
And I don't remember who the other person was, but she texted me and was like, "Hey, do you want to read these in class?" And like the whole process is just like you're bringing in scenes, seeing what works, finding chemistry, things like that. And I like looked at it on my phone and I was like, "Yeah, sure, okay, yeah, let's do it." And I was just saying yes to everything. I was like, I want to try stuff. I'm just happy to be here. And then we like went into a room before we went into the classroom to read it, and I'm like, "Oh, that's what that. Oh, he's gay. I didn't realize that. Like that's crazy. This is a lot deeper than I thought." So we went into the room and read it, and it's like everybody's like behind, like we're in 415.
Yep.
So it's like that stage, and like all of the kids are like behind, and then there's a table set up, and it's Kaylee and Andrea and Prosky, and then our two stage managers, Alana and Lainey, phenomenal stage managers. And so we do the scene, and then we're kind of sitting there, and me and Stella, like we finally like let it land, and then we both look up, and everybody's just bawling, and we're like, "Oh, I guess it works. This is okay."
Yeah.
All right. I guess this means a lot more than I thought I did. All right. Cool. It was crazy how it came about, but
okay. So let's get into it. So high school, awesome. Boom. Figure it out. Talk to Scott. You end up at SCAD.
Yeah.
Was it hit the ground running? You're in short films. You're in plays. You're in projects, or
a little bit. I mean, I developed a network pretty fast, and I'm really lucky to have such a great group of friends too. Yeah. Like, my roommate. One of my roommates freshman year was Max Perez. He's a filmmaker here.
Okay.
And he does phenomenal work, really great work. And he loves to work. At the time, he was really, really loved working alone. And he would do these bare bones crews, which like he would be DPing, directing, writing, and editing. Maybe have a sound guy, maybe have a lighting guy, probably not. And so I got the opportunity to do a lot of projects with him.
Gotcha.
Which kind of developed a little bit of a reel that I could show some people.
Yep.
And then I found the SCAD model page, and I put myself up on there. Okay. And I got into this. This girl Saniti reached out to me and was like, "Hey, do you want to be the actor in our Tom Ford shoot?" It was like a spec ad. And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. That sounds so fun." And I got to sit in this like nice Audi, and it was like I was wearing all black. It looked sick. And then that sparked a lot more people reaching out to me about modeling gigs and stuff for like those short film modeling stuff. And then that sparked into somebody was like, "Hey, you should check out the casting office." I was like, "Oh."
Wait, what year did you figure out casting office, or was it
freshman year?
Okay,
freshman year. So I went in and did a general with Mikey. I'll never forget this. I love Mikey so much. She's so awesome. But she will tell you the truth. I walked in and I had this terrible headshot from my senior photos from high school.
Okay.
And I walked in and I handed her my headshot. And I'm scrambling, right? And I'm like, oh God, I don't have a headshot. And she's like, "We're going to need to do something about this." And I'm like, okay. And she meant it in the nicest way, but she was like, "You are so much more attractive in person than this picture gives you credit for." And I was like, "Well, thanks, I think." But yeah, so then I started getting auditions through that and doing that thing. I got 2 different senior thesis film gigs my freshman year, which was great learning experience. I learned, that was the best part about freshman year, was learning what questions to ask when offered a role.
Interesting. Wait, let's dive into that. What kind of questions did you now figure out for people that are maybe gonna watch this?
Hair and makeup's huge. Hair and makeup is huge for me. I was on a film with a lot of Chinese exchange students who were not familiar with people's hair that was not like theirs.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
And they wanted to try straightening my hair. And you can see.
Yeah.
And my hair's really thick and is really curly. And I told him, I was like, I was a freshman and I was just happy to be on set, and I was like willing to do whatever it took to make it work. And I didn't ask that question beforehand. And so we got on set and they're like trying to straighten my hair, and they're like burning my hair. Like it's like really damaging my hair, and I had no idea. So I've learned to ask that question.
Yeah.
I was on another project called what was it called? It was called Beasts from Before, which was a great project. It was really fun. It was an interesting character. It was like a kind of like an commercial sort of thing for a book that that the director wrote.
Okay.
And it was more of like also showcasing the costume design and everything. It was a really great project. But the makeup was really intense. It was like deep eyeliner. There was like crystals and stuff on my face. There was like they had done these things on my arms because I was like playing this like Lion King guy.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
He was like an extreme dictator and stuff.
Interesting.
But I was supposed to have like these like claw marks on my arms and stuff, and so they were using like the synthetic glue and stuff, and it damaged, like it didn't damage, but like it hurt. And so like I've learned now asking about makeup, and that's huge, and
interesting.
And I thankfully don't have any allergies or anything to that kind of thing. So I mean that's always huge, and I know people talk about how important it is to talk about your allergies when you're dealing with producers on Crafty and that sort of situation too. Again, thankfully I'm not picky.
Yeah.
I do have favorite Crafty meals, but I mean, I'm not picky at all. But yeah, hair and makeup has been huge.
What's interesting for me is I think my whole life, obviously this isn't like, it's not always going to be like this, but I have very thick eyelashes and dark.
Yeah.
So a lot of times they're like, oh, you're good. Like you don't need a liner. You don't need whatever the other stuff, eyelash, whatever. And I'm like, thank you God for that. So I don't have to apply that every time I'm doing something, but knowing that you're gonna have to at some point.
Yeah. And the other one that was huge that I've figured out more recently is that I'm kind of at a place where I haven't auditioned for a whole lot of student films. That's SCAD. It's been a lot of offers of people reaching out to me asking for things because I just fit a certain type for whatever they're looking for. But my first question is hair and makeup. I go, can I see a mood board? And then let me see the script. Because you'd be so surprised how many people don't send the script. Like they won't send the script.
They don't, and it's actually
an offer. It's
I'm always asking for scripts. I'm always that one guy that's like, do you have a script or something?
I go, give me a plot line. Where are you shooting? Hair and makeup. Mood board. I want to see what it's going to look like. Because and then if you have all of those things together and ready to go, I know it's going to be a smooth set. If you are that organized.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So it's like
from the get.
Yeah.
There's been so many opportunities where I'm like, this sounds like such a cool concept, but you can't get me any of these things. Like, I don't know if I want to be on set with you guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure it's going to be a great project, but I don't know if that's something that I want to be involved in because I want, and it's a student film set. Like, everybody's learning.
Yeah.
But even still, like, I want to work with people who want to be there and know their jobs and know what they're doing. And everybody has a collective vision to get to the execution of that great project, which is why Jonah Panett's the best.
Okay, so you're at SCAD and doing projects this way. Did you ever tie yourself into whether it be like student club shows or just SCAD shows? Were you in any of those or? Because you got to keep in mind you're also, I'm assuming, doing music on top of all of this.
Yeah, and I'm playing usually 3 times a weekend.
Got like the whole time you've been at SCAD mostly?
I really ramped up senior year.
Okay,
but yeah.
Gotcha.
Before that, it was probably once a weekend.
Yep.
I did. I've done one musical at SCAD. I did Company for Christian.
Okay.
Which was great. It was super fun, and that's where I met Nick and Bella Grice and Drake and all of those amazing people.
Yeah.
That was a fun show because it was a gender bent version of it too, which was super fun. It's Sondheim, which is intricate but fun. That was fun because I did a lot of the music on that side too. Like I played music for a lot of the people. And it was translating a lot of songs from guitar or from piano to guitar. Okay. Because that was what I was playing because we had Maxwell Park playing piano for us. Thankfully, he's so good. So yeah, that was the one musical I did like where I was acting. Yep. But then I did. Oh gosh, what was the name of that? Oh, I'm such a terrible person. Spring Awakening. Spring Awakening.
Oh, okay, you did.
Augustina reached out to me about that, and so I was in the pit for that, and I did guitar too for that. I did rhythm guitar for that. Okay. And then eventually, Silas reached out to me about Rent. Yep. So I did Rent. Oh. But then I guess something happened with the guitarist, and I got bumped up to guitar 1. So I was doing leads for that, and I don't read music for guitar. I can. Yeah. But not in the same way I can read tabs. Like I can look and go digga with its tabs. If it's like sheet music, I'm like, bump.
That's interesting.
Bump, bump. Like I can't.
Oh, and that's different.
Oh my god.
I guess in my eyes, I just never saw it as really being different. But I guess
I would rather learn
maybe
by
I've never
ear.
put it next to. Okay.
I would rather learn by ear.
Yeah.
Like that's where I really would rather be because it's just like. I'll just play the song on loop, like dunk da dump a dump, like whatever the riff is.
Gotcha. So you said you learned guitar, but that maybe wasn't your main instrument, or you kind of left it open, or was
it definitely is my main instrument. Yeah. I've just picked up so many since. Okay. I started learning guitar when I was about 6 years old, and started taking lessons. and then was like, this sucks. My fingers hurt. My hands aren't big enough. I don't understand it. I quit for a long time.
Yeah.
And my dad picked it up and he took over my lessons. He was like, yeah, we're paying for it. I'm going to do it. So I was like, okay, cool. And he originally had started doing it, learning with me. Yeah. So he would just kind of like sit near the lesson room and kind of learn with me, which was super great. It was a great way for me to bond with my dad.
Yeah.
And then I kind of had a realization. I was probably in like 4th or 5th grade. I was like, I can't let my dad be better than me at something I started. What the heck? So I picked it back up and just taught myself.
Okay.
And then started excelling pretty quick. The practicing wasn't a burden anymore. Mm-hmm. Like if I got in trouble in high school, like my punishment was my parents would take away my guitar. They would. I can't tell you how many times like I've gotten texts from my mom at like 2 a.m. like use headphones or turn it off. Like so many times.
See, that was my issue with like because trumpet was my main instrument, and so.
That's loud.
Yeah, you like it's just like, and it's so funny now because I think too because I was sports. I don't know about you. Growing up, I was sports. Like my dream was to get a scholarship to go play soccer for some school. That was my dream. And then freshman year, freshman year in tennis. So this was after soccer season. I hyperextended my right knee, and I knew I had some bad knee issues. And went to the Green Bay Packers doctor because my dad was had something with his shoulder and he was able to like slide me in. That's awesome. And he looked at my knee. He's like, that's like the worst. Like he's like if I and this wasn't not necessarily the hyperextension. He's like just the structure of my knee. He's like, if you were my son, I'd never let you play another sport again. And I was like, oh, okay, so that's out of the picture now.
There goes that dream.
But I told him I was like, well, I'm not gonna quit sports. I'm like, I got 2 years left or whatever, you know. I'll just like be smart about it and wear these massive knee braces, you know. But then like at that point I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do soccer past high school, so what are we going to do, you know, from that point. But going back to like instruments, like I don't know, I think because of that, it's just like you're like, well, I can keep doing this because it doesn't take physical, you know, whatever. And but I think that the trumpet's so loud, and my parents would always be yelling at me all the time. Or like, it's got to be off by 8:30, like we're done, or you're go to the garage, and then I'd have to like go to the garage and play, and it'd be like freaking freezing outside.
Like Oliver Twist, go to the garage.
yeah, literally.
Get out of here.
No. But then like my little sister now plays the trumpet, and it's like,
oh, that's cool.
But it's like she'll be playing at 10, and I'm like, that's just that different of like where you grew up in your family.
Oh yeah.
It's like, things change. But
I pissed my brother off with it too. We shared a wall. Yeah, dude. But same thing. I mean, I didn't have injuries, but like, I was always active and I was always playing sports. I really first seriously took surfing. I used to surf competitively, and then kind of grew out of that. I stopped having fun with it just because it became it was so intense, and every parent thought their kid was the next Kelly Slater, and I was just like, this isn't fun anymore. Yeah. So I stopped doing it competitively. Then played a little bit of baseball, basketball. Yeah. And then the high school really played lacrosse. And I remember, I guess it was junior year. I was like, because the lacrosse season clashed, like head to head with the musical theater show, the spring musical. Yeah. And so I remember walking out and talking to my coach, the lacrosse coach. And we were standing at midfield, and I was like, Coach, I can't play anymore. Like I was like, because I knew that my future was in something creative or like, and I was like, I need to focus on this because this is what's happening. Yeah. And I knew I was not good enough at lacrosse to go anywhere with it. Like I barely played. Yeah. And I told him, I was like, I gotta quit. I'm sorry, Coach. And he looks at me, he's like, don't quit. And I was like, what? He was like, don't quit. I was like, but I can't. Like, I've got. And he was like, dude, you run like a gazelle. I was like, Coach, I've been compared to a giraffe so many times in my life. I've never been compared to a gazelle. He goes, can you at least come to the games? And I go, yeah, probably.
That's the fun part. Yeah, sure.
Probably.
Yeah.
I go, but I can't come to any of the practices. Like, don't you think it's going to piss off? He goes, don't worry about the other kids. Like, I'll deal with them. Just come to the games. And I was like, all right. So I varsity lettered for 4 years and never went to a fucking practice. Crazy.
See, you know what's funny? Like, my dad gave me an ultimatum, kind of vibes of like, hey, like, what do you want to do with your life? And it was in 7th grade, or no, it was going into 8th grade, and like I had to travel basketball and then trying to do musical during the same time, like, so you like go from rehearsal to practice and vice versa, and it was just like so much. I think it was
and then you're the musical theater golden boy too, because the musical director always loves that athlete that doesn't really want to be
exactly
there.
And so then, but my dad's like, you know, he's like, you realize, he's like, if you keep doing this, he's like, you're never going to get like a true lead. You'll always be a side character. And if you keep doing this, you'll eventually lose your starting spot on the team just because you're not going to be able to be there, or there's just that lack of, politics of the team.
It doesn't look good. I mean,
and so then I was like, well, fuck, I kind of hate basketball right now. I'm like, my teammates kind of suck ass. Like I'm just like, I don't enjoy it. Like it was fun when I was younger, and then the city,
you do it because you feel like you have to.
The city that we moved to too, like I went from, this is like the funny thing, like I went from Green Bay, which was like D1, and like all my buddies were on the Green Bay traveling team, and they were like, if you like come try out, and it was too much traveling for my family. They're like, we can't do that. I 5 kids in my family, and so then it was like I never did that, and then I go to the city that we are now, which is D3, and I did their travel basketball, and it's like there was too much favoritism, and I'm like, I didn't come from a D1 school where they were begging me to be on their traveling team for the city, and then come to this D3 school and then like have to fight for a spot. I'm like, and I'm clearly the better, and then it was just like the politics, like coach's son, all that kind of stuff. So I think at that point I was like, I'm just done. I'm done with. I love basketball, still do. I think I'm done playing that game. And then the next year I got the lead in the musical just because it's like there's no conflict anymore. But yeah.
That was the same thing with us. And when I played basketball, it was because I went to a private school. And so like the kids whose parents donated more to the school got more playing time.
Actually, or this is conspiracy?
Well, it's not confirmed, but it was pretty obvious.
Yes, no, I get you.
It was pretty obvious. Yeah, like when the 5'5" little kid that's jacking up threes from right past half court and is, 15% from beyond the line is getting more playing time than the 7-foot dude that's just jacking it in every three minutes. Like, what is it? That doesn't make any sense.
No. Well, that's why I quit baseball, because I love baseball. I was really good at it. Yeah. And in the city of Green Bay had their like all the kids tournament kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I would always be on the all-star team, on my team. And then the last year I did it, I was like the second best, I would say. Like I was batting over 500 that whole time.
Wow.
Second best. And
what position?
I played first base because at that time I was like, I'm not that great of a pitcher, and I only knew a fastball. So it was like at that point you're like, you can't do much more. But I then proceeded to bat like 11, call it like 7th or 8th, which is like your slump. And it was just because the coach's son got the prime spot, and then the voting for the All-Star went to the coach's son. You're like, okay, but he like struck out every time, so this isn't. And then I was just like,
he's batting 180, and I'm at 630.
Yeah,
like, what are we doing?
So then at that point, I was like my dad knew I was like frustrated, and he was like, you could be done if you want to, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm done. Then I don't need to do this again. But no, interesting. Okay, so. Do you come to your junior/senior year and you're auditioning for Showcase? You said you auditioned for acting, but not MT.
Yeah.
Was that a choice or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see myself doing musicals on Broadway.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think partially because I don't have that kind of voice. I don't have that amazing vibrato belt that a lot of those people do.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I kind of wrote myself off, but I mean, I wanted to really put maximum effort into the acting showcase because I knew I wanted to do film, and I knew I could kill in film. Like,
interesting.
I knew that I had a lot of experience doing student films and being in front of a camera and really working with a camera. I had a lot of friends that did it, and like I was like, I know I want to do this, and if I do both, I know I'm going to be so stressed out, and I'm not going to be able to put in the 100% of effort that I absolutely can. So I said, okay, I'm going to do acting showcase a year early. I mean, and so I did a monologue that I wrote and a scene from The Effect for my audition.
Yep.
Got a call back, and here's the real kicker. I was on tour at the time.
Oh, for music?
Yeah, I was on tour, and so I had to go from the callback. Like they released the time slots, and I immediately was like, I'm first. And I was like, I have to book the first time slot because I have to go to the airport.
Yeah.
And I have to fly to God knows where. I was probably going to, I think that was the Indianapolis show. I was flying to Indianapolis and then Minneapolis, and then and so I was like, I gotta memorize this because they sent back the callback and they were like, either do the same one or do a new one. I was like, this feels like a trap. I'm gonna do a new one. I was like, I'm gonna do a new one.
Yeah.
So I did a new one. And in the room, it was Mark, Andra, Prosky, Professor Andrea, Kaylee Carter, who I'd never met, and then Aaron, running the camp.
Yep.
And I'm kind of like, I know Mark and Andrea, but I don't know them that well.
No, yeah.
And I've never had Andrea or Prosky, and I've never met Kaylee. So I'm like,
gotcha.
This could be interesting, you know? And I walked in and I do this monologue, and the first line of the monologue, it's what I ended up doing for my showcase monologue. Like what I ended up doing, like filming.
Really?
Was what I auditioned with. And the first line is, what, you don't think I have feelings? You don't think I'm sensitive? Let me tell you something. I got more feeling in my left nut than you two schoolgirls put together. And I hear Prosky go, ha! And I was like, oh, I'm killing right now. I was like, oh, great. And I finished, and Mark goes, what was the first line of that? And I just like said it to him. I was like, oh, it's like, you don't think I have feelings. You don't think I'm sensitive. I have more feeling in my left nut than you do two schoolgirls have put together. And he's like, okay. And then Andrew's like, do you have like notes for him? And he's like, no, I just heard it. And I'm like, oh shit, was I supposed to act that? Oh no. I was like, oh God, this is terrible. And then I was like, all right. And I left the room and I was like, I might have just bombed or killed. I don't know. Got on a plane, went and played the shows. And I was like, you know what? If this doesn't work out, how many 20-year-olds can say they've been on tour? I'm having the time of my life. This is great.
Yep.
And it all worked out. It all worked out. But yeah.
That's so funny. I mean, honestly, well, because I don't think we actually knew who. We also have Mike here. He's running our TV. Let's go, Mike.
Oh yeah, Mike.
I don't think they actually. I don't think they actually told us who was going to be showcased this year.
I think it's Andrew and Prosky again.
And that's what I heard. And so, if Prosky, if you're watching this one's for you. But I was there because it's like do something that like is you. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, I am the boy next door. So it's like if I look at a TV show that I love The Office. I am Jim. Like that's just like my type of acting is Jim. So I just did one from Jim. But then I was like, you know, I could do another thing that's like very similar to me, or I could go step outside my box and be like, I could do this. Like you could see me do this role. Maybe I wouldn't be like the first choice. And so I did one from Wedding Crashers, one of Vince Vaughn's scenes, the breakfast in the morning. And I'm like, that's so good. I did that one just for Prosky. I'm like, because I had him for class or whatever. And so he knows like my type of acting as well. And I'm like, I just want to do something really crazy that like he's watching it and he's like, the fuck? Like,
whether like, you motorboat and sailor, you dirty guy.
But I'm just like, yeah, I think that. I'm like, whether I get a callback or not, I could just hope that I made him laugh. That's my whole goal.
Prosky's awesome.
No, I love him. So, but anyway, so interesting. So you did that, and that was your process of picking your scene. Did you have to do a lot of other scenes, or did they kind of know like, oh, that's your pairing, you're done?
I read a lot. I read with. What's funny because I originally read with Jordan. Carpenter, and we had a scene from Daisy Jones and the Six that we had workshopped a lot and thought we were gonna lock, and then eventually came to the point where it was like, okay, it's a little too known. I don't think it's gonna work, and the numbers weren't working either.
Numbers meaning?
So we had 20 people. We had 20, and then Eli went to Broadway, which like is incredible.
Yes,
and we were all so happy for him. But then we're like, okay, we have 19 people now, and these are supposed to be scenes of 2. Somebody's like, what are we going to do? And so at one point, because they loved the scene that I had with Stella and they loved the scene I had with Jordan.
Yep.
And they were like, at one point, one of the directors told me something. They go, so somebody is probably going to have 2 scenes. And they said that to everybody. Mm-hmm. Somebody's probably going to have 2 scenes. And then one day, one of the directors pulled me aside. I think it was Andrea. She was like, are you okay? Like, it's possible that it's going to be you. Are you okay with that? I was like, am I okay with that? Yeah, that's epic.
I get two professional scenes.
And then I read a scene with Caroline.
Okay, yep.
And I don't know, it didn't really work.
Yep.
It was a great scene, it wasn't right. I read another one with.
Are you bringing in these scenes, or
everybody's bringing in scenes?
Yeah. Okay.
There's just and the thing is like the criteria, and so like you spend so much time. So like we had a meeting in late June, early July.
Okay.
We had a Zoom meeting. It was the first time we ever met.
Yep.
And they Kaylee went through this slideshow. She says, this is what's going to happen this year. This is how this works. This is how it goes down. Your job right now is start looking for scenes, start looking for material. And so day one, people are bringing in 4 or 5 scenes, and it's a workshop, and everybody's reading. And so maybe at one point they're asking,
is it can they have one scene and just have 3 different people read for it? Okay.
Yeah. So at one point they'll say okay, so I'm just gonna pull random names. Say Anya has a scene with Jonah. Take their scene, right?
Yeah.
And maybe at first Jonah didn't really, they hadn't read it with him yet, and so maybe I think this is actually true. I think she read it with Drake first.
Oh, yeah.
And so they told Jonah, they were like, go outside because we're going to read it with Drake and we want to see how that looks. Okay. And then now y'all switch so that they're not trying to copy each other and like completely inadvertently. Yeah. And so like they're flipping people around. The scene I read with Caroline, I know a couple of other people read with her. But then the scene that I did with Bridget that ended up in the showcase. Yep. She had originally read that with Drake as well, and I think she read it with Jonah at one point. Maybe I think she read it with Nick Williams at one point. Yep. And I think that it just never really stuck. And then they were finding scenes with other people. Yep. Like, okay, so Bridget's kind of like she's looking for somebody, and they were like, what if Davis reads it with her? And I was like, okay, so I read it, and they thankfully really loved it, and it worked out really well. And it was cool because those two scripts are from two different things. The one that I had with Stella is from a film called Plain Clothes, and the one that I have with Bridget's from a film called Blue Jay. And there was enough coincidental crossover in the dialogue of like references to things that it just worked. And so the only difference is that we made Bridget my sister instead of, I think in the original film, it's like a potential love interest. Yep. So we made her my sister, and then we threw in a line for the scene with Stella with where she asked like, hey, how's your sister? So like to make that connection work between the two of them.
So how many scenes did you guys record then for Showcase?
Everyone got one. I had two.
Okay.
I was fortunate enough. I was blessed to have two.
Was that because they just needed another person?
Yeah, because there were 19 people.
Gotcha.
And honestly, it also was kind of interesting because then Jordan had her scene with Prosky.
And I was on set for that. I was one of their back people or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jordan was with Prosky and Nadia was with Kaylee.
And that's why I literally tied a car ride with Nadia and we were just talking about And
it was interesting because also I think they tried to read a couple of scenes together, Jordan and Nadia, and they were just like they couldn't find anything that really worked. And so
it's so interesting.
And I think Kaylee wrote that scene for Jordan. I think. I'm not entirely sure. I think. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember if Nadia said that their scene was also written or not. I can't remember, but
I don't think it was. I think it was from a film called Supernova.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
Oh, I'm quoting you on that. No.
In big block letters on the headline, on the thumbnail.
Quote that. Stat that. No. Okay, got you. So then, what was your experience then going through the process of show? Like, so now you have your scenes picked out. You're doing that development for those, characters.
We're doing rehearsals. Monologues. So like once everything locked, the thing about the scene with Bridget is that needed some rehearsal and it needed some line work and some line changes to really make it work, figure out locations and how that is all going to flow. So we rehearsed that a good amount of times because there were also some lines that were a little awkward in the original script. But the scene with Stella, like we rehearsed it for blocking a few times. But it was so intense, and it connected. I know it connected with her really emotionally. Yeah. And it was really heavy for me as well. We didn't want to rehearse it much. Like, we were off book, and it was like, all right, we're not going to touch this for a while. So over winter break, over spring break, we really didn't touch it until probably a week before we filmed it, where we were like, all right, let's just go over the blocking one more time. And we went to location, and we were like, all right, so this is how it's going to work here, here, here. And did a blocking rehearsal, and then it was like, all right. And then that was it. Whereas with Bridget, like we rehearsed it a good amount of times. Yeah.
Well, I feel like also too that's part of like different actors working with different people, if that makes sense. You know? Like, cause some people are like, I just really need that blocking. I really need it drilled. And some are like, I just love the spontaneity.
That's how I am.
That moment.
I love the spontaneity.
I think I'm learning to like the spontaneity because I used to be someone that I need to know exactly what I need to do, how. And as now I'm like, oh, but that like really locks me in and I can't get myself out of it. So I almost need to not do that and try to teach myself not to.
I've started getting off book without learning their lines. Like I will not look at their lines for getting off book.
Meaning you strip your lines out of it, and
so that at least I know what I'm gonna say. But then for the first run through, I can find more moments in my lines of like, okay, that's why I'm saying that, and it changes the way that I'm going about it. Yeah,
I gotta try that.
But I also like I'll do a script read through when I first get it. Yep. Maybe read it one more time, and then I don't learn my lines till day of. Generally speaking.
Are you fast memorizer though?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not.
I haven't always been. I'm pretty good, especially with. I mean, it depends on the scene, but but it also helps with that spontaneity of like it helps me find moments and stuff and really work with it and work off the other person and be an active listener.
Well, what's interesting too is like I feel like we're always taught like. Make sure you're word perfect. You got to be, especially like film. I'm not talking like stage, but I'm talking.
I'm not good at that.
It's like be word perfect. And then it's like you'll watch the best scene from the film, and then they'll take the script and show you what they said, and it's like,
have you seen that one from Wolf of Wall Street?
Yes, I have.
Where he's doing that first cold call.
Yeah,
and he's like, he has like 4 words that are actually off the page,
and then it's like, but it's like it stays in, or it's just like, I don't know. I think there's a gentle balance. Obviously, you want to respect the writers in the writer room.
But I think once you get to the level of Leo, it's like you have a bit of creative liberty.
Or if it's just like, hey, this is take 4, can I just like riff? It's like, I think there's part of that you learn in doing film more often. Whereas like stage, like you got to be word perfect, and if it doesn't make sense, you got to make it make sense.
But I think by that same token, if you are sure enough and strong enough in your character, and you can just keep your character going, and you're saying things that they realistically would say, I don't know. But I also love working with the writers too. Like my other really, really good friend AJ Brennan is a dramatic writer, and he's written many, many scripts that are really good, and I've acted in them for him. We just did one called Weekend at Benny's. Yeah. Really, really great script. It was a fun shoot. That was the one that I was on set for when we tried to do this the first time. Yeah. But yeah, he's always told me, he's like, this is just a general idea to get from point A to point B. Yeah. I'm not stressing about being word perfect. Nope. And it was great. And so I got to act with Daniel Sanson. Do you know Daniel?
No, I don't.
He's really great. He's a phenomenal actor, great at improv. And so we had this conversation where we're sitting at a table talking about, I'm like the group leader, like trying to get everybody rallied, and we're at a bar, and he's sitting across, and he's super nervous and timid, and he's like, I don't want to be here, man, life sucks. And I'm like, bro, get your shit together. And he's talking about the food sucks, and I'm like, there's nowhere you'd rather be in your 20s. You've got no parents breathing down your neck. You've got, all you got to worry about is assignments, and there's beautiful women everywhere. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, and he continues complaining. I'm like, shut up. And I'm like, there's 2 women over there looking at you. And he's like, and I'm like, don't look. And he's like, and I'm like, but it was all improv. Like, and so we got into this point where I'm like, all right, I need you to lock in, okay? I need you. And he's like, okay, I'm good. And I go, I need you to drink more too. And he's like, chugs this beer. And I'm like, all right, yeah. How you feeling? He's like, I'm good. Then I go, all right, we're going to get up. I'm going to lead first. He goes, you're going to go first? I go, I'm going to go first. I go, you don't talk until I talk. And he's like, okay, I won't talk. And I go, okay, I'm going to stand up first. And so I stand up, and as he stands up, he bumps to the table. And I'm like, dude? And he's like, sorry. And that was all improv. Like, it was because Daniel's so great. Yep. So great to work off of. And we both had our characters so locked. And frankly, our characters were kind of just us. Like,
that helps.
AJ cast us based on like which character was most like our natural personality.
Got you.
Which was super weird coming off of Showcase being the last project I did, where it was so different from who I am to going into this like, am I doing enough? Like, I'm just being me.
That's my issue too now, because I've had like Love Mikey, and I got to work with her to just like a couple stuff she gave me, and I don't know, I think I think by default I'm like, I'm a bad actor, so I need to prove myself. So I get into the room and I'm like doing all this crazy stuff, and it's like, well, no, we don't want you. We don't want what you're bringing. We just want you. Yeah. Like, we want Jordan as this character, not this whatever version of Jordan as this character. And I think that's what I need to learn. Or just like what I think is the worst acting is.
And that's huge for film. I mean, Prosky, you'll say it a million times. It's inside storm, outside still. Like, it's it's such a smaller version of what you would do on a stage. But it's still got to be authentic. Yeah. And bringing truth to that character in a way that would be true to you in a way, you know? Mm-hmm. Because the way that Leo's going to play Jordan Belfort is completely different than the way that you or I would, because we're bringing our own self to it.
Yeah, I don't even know if I could.
Which is a crazy shout, but
yeah, I don't even know if I could.
We were just talking about Wolf of Wall Street. So
actually, that leads to a question I was going to ask. I was like, is there, when you're looking at scripts, is there something that you're like, I just can't, or I won't do that? Is there anything like that? Like, for me, there's certain characters that I'm like, I just can't do that, or I just wouldn't do that. As an actor, like as Jordan, wouldn't do that. So I was curious if you have anything like that.
Well, so it's funny. I, for a long time, said that not that I wouldn't want to or wouldn't. I just don't think I could play a gay guy. Mm-hmm. And I did for my showcase scene. Yeah. And it was that it was so real and so. He was so complicated, and there was so many layers to Lucas that I was like, I think this is something I would really enjoy to tackle. I would enjoy that challenge. And for a long time, I really didn't think I could do it. I grew up in a really conservative town, and you know, in high school on the lacrosse team. I mean, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Like, it's locker room talk, and
Yeah.
it made me really insecure, frankly, just because I was like, oh God, am I acting gay? Like, it was like, it was, and it wasn't used. It was so derogatory, and it was not. It was derogatory and it was disrespectful, and so I got really like scared of like putting myself in that position.
Interesting.
And then I had this moment where I'm like, this is such a phenomenal scene. This is a beautiful scene. It's ridiculous to put this off. Like, I can do this. I'm gonna enjoy learning about this character and finding a different side of it. And so I was like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. So for a long time I wouldn't do that, but I've since really grown and realized that it's not really even about that.
Yeah.
The main times that I turn down roles for things that I won't do is if there is something obscene or something that I just am like, why? Like, it's not serving the story.
Yeah.
Or if it's just straight up the writing's not good. Like, if I'm reading a script and I'm like, there's a lot of spelling errors, which it obviously isn't the story, but it's like if that's how lackadaisical you are with your writing. If it's just like, I'm so tired of doing like 2 dudes just killed somebody and now they're on the run. Like, so many people have that script, and I'm like, this is the same story over and over and over and over again. I'm not doing that. No, it's crazy.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, those are my really
No,
it's more about the merit of the work for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was the process of preparing for Showcase? You do Showcase it's something that agents are coming here to watch Showcase, or how does that work then for you guys?
Yeah, so it's a fun process, really. It's intense and it's very nerve-wracking, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I feel like I handled it pretty well. I was like, I mean, I'll back up. I've always preferred an in-person audition. Because I want to get in the room and I want to talk to you face to face, because I feel like that's where I excel and I can really show you who I am. And it's not just, hi, my name is Davis Hattaway. I'm 6'4", and I'm like, you don't get anything from that, right?
Yeah.
So I was a little bit nervous just because I was like, are they gonna like it? And is it gonna come across in the right way that we intended it to?
Well, and it's filmed too, so you're also not doing it there.
But so then the film's finished. Everybody's like finished their websites and their resumes and got our headshots done, and everything's like ready to go. And then the screening happens, and it was so cool this year. Did you watch the whole film?
I did not watch the whole film. I think I've seen the one with Bridget. I don't think I saw the one with Stella.
Okay.
So I'll have to go back and watch that one.
So the end scene is Tay and Sandro, and it is a phenomenal scene. Might be my favorite scene in the whole thing. Yep. It is hilarious, and they play these 2 gangsters.
Yep.
And it's so funny.
Yeah.
And they absolutely kill. And then the end credits roll to Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio. And they told us, they go, when the credits roll, you guys are going to walk out in a line, and you're going to stand in front of the room, and you're going to bow, and then you're going to pass a mic down, you're going to introduce yourself, and then you're going to leave. Like, that was the first time we got to see like agents, managers, casting directors, like that kind of thing.
Yep.
And it's like 30 people are there, and then we walked out to Gangsta's Paradise, and it was the most badass thing ever. Like, we're just like, I'm like, oh yeah, this is, because we also hadn't seen it yet. Wait.
Oh.
Yeah, we had seen it actually.
I was gonna say, at least you had. I feel like you would have had to have seen your scene.
We had seen it. They did a screening for us beforehand.
Okay. Yep.
I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, but I didn't fully put together. I was like, wait, we're walking out to Gangsta's Paradise.
Yeah.
This is so hard.
Yeah.
This is so cool. And like, I think I was sitting near Stella, and she was like, oh yeah. And I was like, this is sick. This is awesome. And so we do that whole thing, and then you kind of go about the rest of your day.
So is this like morning, afternoon?
Yeah, this is like that was at like.
I thought this was all at night.
So the screening was at like 10 a.m.
Gotcha. Which makes sense, because then they can mull over and revisit. Yeah.
And then the banquet's that evening, and because that's when MT Showcase is.
Gotcha.
So they do MT Showcase on the stage. This year they did it on the stage in the Lucas.
Okay.
And then and then you just get the chance to go and talk and really just work the room.
Yeah.
And it was such a great experience. It was so fun. I really enjoyed meeting people, and it was great to get to see some familiar faces from like film fest and stuff that I gotten to meet.
Yeah.
And then that was kind of it. Like we were there for a couple of hours just chatting and getting to know people, and then like I think some people like signed the next day with some people, which I was like, that's crazy. But I mean, like, more power to you. Like, if you want to get to work, hell yeah, I respect the hell out of that. I was more like, I want to wait and see what happens. Like, I really want to. Excuse me. Even still, it still hasn't gone out on breakdowns yet. So I'm like, I'm waiting to see what happens with that. I want to see who reaches out.
Got you.
And I've had some conversations and meetings with some agencies and stuff, and I have some meetings coming up with some managers, which I'm really looking forward to.
Okay. Although I feel like that's, I was talking to some people about just like the idea of having a manager and how like some of the professors are like, you don't need that this young. And then they're like, but then some of the students are like, I just think I want that. And it's interesting because would this be something that you would tie them into not only just your acting, but your music, or would that you keep that separate?
I don't
or how would
know.
that work?
And I've taken one meeting so far with a manager, and it was great. And I should have asked that, and I realized that after the fact. It would be nice. It would be.
And that's what I was wondering. It was more of like, is that something you would be like? I would think this would be kind of nice.
I think it would probably end up being more of a I'm kind of double signed sort of thing. Yeah. Because like I think it's my understanding at least that they kind of specialize. So like an acting manager doesn't.
And that's my other question.
Doesn't have the same connections in the music world as a music manager, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And so like your music manager's not going to take 10% of your role.
Yeah.
If you're acting in some Netflix thing, like, so I don't completely know how that works.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Well, then it's interesting because it's like all the gigs that you do on the side now, it's like if you end up with a manager, it's like they just get, right?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
And then it's like, is that something you want? Because it's like,
it's like, I'm not getting paid enough to give you 10%.
I was going to say, yeah, and it's not like you need them to what you're doing right now. So I was just curious on if you've ever thought of that or how that would affect all of that.
The music I've been able to handle really well.
Yeah.
The only thing that I've ever wanted to support me in my music career beyond what I currently have, which is my amazing parents and friends and all of that, is I would love to have a roadie. I want somebody to set all the stuff up for me and just like let me start playing, because that part sucks. I hate it. And I'm good at it. Like, it's quick now. I know where everything goes, but I hate it so much.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
Well, even today for like this podcast, we took this show on the road last week or whatever, and coming back here and it was sitting in a pile right here, and I looked at it this morning, I was like, and it's like, again, I'm pretty good at it now. I can set it up just like that or get it like pretty close to what it needs to be before we do the perfections. But it was like, I don't want to do that. Like, I just want to sit down. Like, that's where it's like, oh, if I could ever have enough money to have, like, if I had a roommate, get 3 rooms and I'll pay for 2 of them and just have like a podcast room. I don't have to touch anything and just leave it. Like, it's not in my living space.
That was part of the thing is Daniel and I were touring apartments in Atlanta.
Okay.
And we were like, we need a place, because he's an actor too. Okay. I'm like, we need a place where there is a good area to just have a self-tape set up and just leave it there. Yeah. And not have to move it. I was like, I have a great backdrop. I've got the full like sheet. Yep. It's way too big. I bought one that was way too big. But
I bought mine and I'm just like, it works for.
But I should have gotten the ones that like pops up.
That's what I got, but it's not that big. It's not as big as you. Well, especially you're 6'4", right? Yeah. So you'd have to get a massive one to fit you.
It no joke. I think it's like 10 by 15. Like, it's ridiculous. It's
I guess
stupid.
Mine's like, I don't know, but mine's like 7 by 6 or something like that.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah.
That's a human size.
Yeah.
I saw that shit on Amazon and I was like, yeah, need me one of those. Oh, I just have to hang it. I'm gonna get me a couple of rods. That was it. Although I will say, I for my birthday I asked for those DJI like microphones, the wireless microphones.
Yeah.
Changes the self-tape game.
Does it? Okay.
Changes the game.
I'm gonna hit you up and be like, which ones did you get?
They're on sale right now for like $80 on Amazon. And I think when it was gifted to me, they were like $230. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Epic.
The Rode ones, so it's brand or
I have the DJI ones because they're smaller.
Yeah. No, because I don't know. That's you hear people be like, you just get that, and then it just gets rid of all of your audio issues.
Pretty much.
And so I probably
shoot in a parking garage.
Yeah. You've tried it before or no?
No, but
okay.
Like,
I thought you had a great story or something like that. I got this tape. It was just me.
I've never been one to like go on site for tapes. I've heard people's success stories of people. There's one guy in Yellowstone that like for his Slate shot, like set a tripod up in the middle of a field and rode out there on a horse, like on his farm. And I was like, hi, my name is such and such. I'm based here.
Well, for a slate, that makes sense. That's
and I'm
cool.
like, that's genius. I mean, it's Taylor Sheridan. Like, he probably loved that. And he got the role. So, I mean.
Yeah. I feel like a slate too.
If I had a horse, I'd be slating with that all the time.
Wait. So hold up. So does that mean, so you said you're going to Atlanta?
That is the current plan.
Okay. And why Atlanta?
I currently do not have the funds to go to LA or New York.
Okay.
My brother lives in Atlanta.
Okay.
And he will be for a while. I mean, he just got into Georgia Tech for his grad school, which is great. And I haven't lived with my brother in 4 years, you know. Mm-hmm. Actually, it was longer than that. 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would love to be around him more. Daniel and I mean, we've gotten really, really close over this past 6-7 months.
Yeah.
It's been great, and he's such a great actor too. And we went to Atlanta and was like, this is a great place. We found an amazing place in Midtown. It's right up the road from one of the agencies that I'm talking to.
Okay.
I don't know. It just kind of worked out. I've started a conversation with another agency that is based in New York.
Yeah. And
I've kind of started spinning around on the idea of maybe I go to New York.
Yeah. It's interesting. Your class, not your class, however you want to call it. Like, everyone's going to New York, it seems like. Everyone I've talked to that is graduating.
Everyone.
Which is interesting, too, because, like, if you would have asked me at the beginning of this year, hey, what's your plan? My original plan was, like, maybe Atlanta, just because I know it's close to Savannah, so there's scattered connections there. I was like, or back home, would be Chicago's the biggest, closest city.
Which is great.
Yeah. But then it's like, now my girlfriend's in New York. So it's like, okay. And then it's like, everyone that I've made connections here is also in New York. So I'm kind of like,
yeah.
And then I was talking to my brother, who he's on mission trip right now, or he's in a mission program for 2 years, the same time frame as me. So I get done with my school. Is that with the church? Or? Yeah, with the Catholic Church. It's with Focus. So he's a missionary on a college campus, and he's at Missouri. So Mizzou is where he's working.
That's awesome.
And he wraps up when I do, and he's like, I'm not sure. He's like, he went to school for, was it like chemistry or biomedical or something like that?
Dang.
Something like that. Yeah, the opposite of me. And he was like, I don't know if that's what I want to do. He's like, I don't know if I want to be with sick people that just don't want to get better. He's like, there's so much to life. Like, I want, like, kind of like I love working with kids because they're so optimistic of like, I have my whole life ahead of me. I'm going to beat this thing, compared to like someone who's like given up. Right. But then I think through mission and like, you know, discerning and all that kind of stuff, he's like, I feel like that calling back to the medical field. And I'm like, hey, if you ever go back to school in a big city, roommates, like, duh.
So my dad, I talked to him about it. My dad's a physician.
Okay.
And I know, I mean, he's told me some pretty crazy stories of working in the medical industry, and you know, that same kind of thing. Some people just lose hope, but I think it's also fair to say that a lot of people don't. And there's some really people who are going through some really really tough stuff, and they're some of the happiest and most grateful people. Yeah. And it's really amazing to see that they're just happy that they're still breathing. And he's told me he went to his medical school in Atlanta. He went to Emory.
Okay.
So like, and then he did his internship fellowship, something at Grady. And I've heard some crazy stories from him working at Grady. Like, he's hit me with some wild stuff. But yeah, I mean, I actually considered it when I was in, you know, middle school, early high school, about maybe medical is something I want to do. And then I remember I went in. I was like, I had to chill with my dad for the day at one point, and he had to get something removed from his neck or something. And I went with him, and I'm like sitting in the room, and it was like a really basic procedure. And like, I saw the guy like take the scalpel, and I was like, nope, and like fully passed out. And in my head, it doesn't bother me at all. Like,
it's just
conceptually, I'm fine. Yeah. It's just something. I can see my own blood. I can see my own blood completely fine. It doesn't bother me. But as soon as I see yours, nope, I'm out.
Yeah. I mean, I have a sibling who is a nurse, and it's like, can do anyone else's. Their blood starts getting upset. And it's just interesting how like the body and the mind works, and
it like mentally doesn't, like, conceptually I don't have a problem with it.
Your
like,
body just shuts down.
At some point there's some sort of like subconscious of like, nah, bro, we're not doing this right now. You're done.
Yeah,
we're pulling the plug.
No, but that's it. So like, it's funny. So now I'm here, and I'm like, I got 1 year left here.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm only going to be this age for so long. I think I do have a desire to go back to Wisconsin at some point in my life. So it's like, if I was going to do something crazy, now would be the time. Like, and
you're young.
I also have no interest in going to LA personally. I just don't. For me,
I didn't.
Yeah. What's your poll?
Then I watched this great show called Entourage, and I'm like, could be fun. Could be fun. I don't know.
I just and I'm not a car guy. I love driving though.
Yeah.
Which is the one thing in New York, it's like you can't afford a car, buddy. So.
I top out, like for me driving, I top out around 5 hours. Like at 5 hours, I'm like, get me out.
Oh, really? I could drive. Well, you know what's interesting is like we grew up so far away from family that in order to see them, you're driving 2.5 hours, 3 hours just on a pop. And we do that. And then like when people were sick or, grandparents were sick, it's like you're doing that every weekend. Yeah. So we just got really used to being, and we were really good in the car. And my parents were very much like, well, we're not going to stay home this weekend. Like we're either going to go to Madison or Milwaukee, the big cities in Wisconsin. It's like one or the other. They're an hour away. So so we were just always in cars. And so I think for me, I just love the open road. That's a big
Midwest thing, I think.
And you have to travel to get to the next place.
My cousin lives in Minnesota, and I'll call her, and she's like, yeah, I'm on my way to soccer practice right now. I'm like, oh yeah, how much longer you got? She's like, hour and a half. I'm like, that's insane.
That seems extreme. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's
she's like, yeah, I just gotta go into the city. So I'm like, how far is that? 45 minutes. I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah, but that's normal. Yeah, so it's like me commuting to school was like 35 minutes. And
that is true. I did drive 30 minutes to school in high school.
Yeah.
But that was also because like we were just surrounded by water. Like I had to take like 4 bridges to get to school. It was ridiculous. Yeah. Taking my boat would have been faster. I'm not joking. It would have.
I would have just commandeered my boat. No.
People did that at our local high school, at the public high schools. Like people would take their boats to school. The school had a dock.
Wait, actually,
yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
See, where we were from, there was a bring your tractor to school day, so everyone would just pull up in their big ass tractor.
I've heard about this.
Yeah. My one buddy, what was it called? But then the whole thing was like, whose tractor was bigger? That's what happened. And he brought his.
We all know what that really means.
Yeah, exactly. And I forget I don't know what it's called, but it's one where it's got the treads. It's like there's like 4 triangles tread, and it's like the biggest machine. I got to drive it for a second at one point in one of his fields or whatever. But it was like he brought that. It was like, he won this year. It was like he had to pull some strings probably with his parents to be like, can we let this one off the farm today?
What was like some super Florida stuff we had. A lot of the local high schools had surf teams. I mean, that's pretty Florida. Our school didn't. I don't know. Like, it was just like there was a story for their senior prank, pretty local. Like, I think it was up in Jacksonville. Okay. This school got in a lot of trouble because their senior prank was they caught a shark and hung it in the front entrance because their school mascot was like the Sharks or something. And like it was like some serious PETA was.
I was gonna say that was my thought.
Yeah.
But was it illegal to catch the shark? What if you're just drying out the meat?
I mean, I've never eaten shark.
Allegedly, no, yeah.
Shark is a big part of the cuisine of where I'm from.
And you've never tried it?
I won't eat it. I won't eat shark
because
I have a superstition that if I don't eat it, it won't eat me. That's my thing. I won't eat it.
Oh, okay, but just sharks alone.
Sharks and gators.
Okay, yeah.
Because gator meat's also big where I'm from.
Yeah.
But like I'm in the river so much and I was surfing so much, I was like, I won't touch it.
That's true.
Out of a superstition, out of a respect thing.
Out of respect for the king, the top predator. Yeah, I got you. Interesting.
Because when I was little, I would be terrified. Yeah. I'd be so scared of sharks.
Dude, even us swimming,
even now I get a little
even us swimming in lakes, I'd be like, there could be like a massive big ass fish or something to just take off my toes or something. It's
lakes never bothered me. The river gets to me occasionally just because.
Well, it's down here, you got some weird ass shit in the lakes, in the rivers, and it's like, where I'm from, it's like those reptiles can't survive in the lakes because they freeze.
I don't like snakes. I don't like spiders. I don't like. Like I have no problem. I mean, I have no problem like killing them. Like I'll get close enough to kill it.
Yeah.
But I'm not holding that.
No.
Hell no.
No, I'm running the other way.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, so I think one of the big things we still got to talk about before I let you go and escape would be the fashion show. Like, was fashion something that you always had interest in, or how did that come around?
I mean, at high school, I had some friends, some girl friends of mine, like did modeling and stuff, and they would drive down to Miami and do that kind of thing. Yep. And I always thought that was super cool, that was an opportunity. And like, I had always been told growing up that I was a good-looking kid. And one of my friends told me, like, you hear it enough, you start to believe it. Like, and you kind of just start to say, thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like, and it just kind of, So I was like, maybe modeling could be a thing that I could do, and I just never really got into it.
Okay.
And then getting here, I did that Tom Ford thing, and then I put myself on the SCAD modeling page, and then I did some photo shoots, and I auditioned for the fashion show freshman year.
Okay.
Because my roommates were doing it.
Yeah.
But they're like, my roommates were like 5'6" and I was 6'4", and I was like, don't you have to be kind of tall for this stuff? And none of us got in. And then I was kind of swore it off because I didn't like how it went down because they didn't send out a call sheet, or they didn't send out like a cast list.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like the fashion show happened. I was like, well, I guess I didn't get in. Like,
still waiting for my measurements, but maybe they got that on record somewhere else.
So then I got really close with Jonah Panette, a really, really good friend of mine. He's a director here, absolutely phenomenal. He's got a new film coming out pretty soon called Advan.
All right.
It's going to be huge. He's got a film that I acted in for him alone, and that's coming out in June. That is when he and I got really close. We had known each other, and we were in the Hive together, but that was when we got really close because we were working together and realized we worked really well together.
Yeah.
And he's done a lot of modeling. He has, and he kind of was like, this year you should audition. And I was like, okay. And I got in this year. It was so grateful. I ended up with 3 looks in the fashion show.
Wow.
Which was very rare.
I was gonna say that's crazy.
Most people had 1, maybe 2.
Or they just get cut.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. Like a lot of the kids, like I know Finley had to do Peter Pan and couldn't make it work. Yeah. So like I was just grateful to be there.
Yeah.
Frankly, I was just happy to be there.
Yeah.
And then having 3 looks was just kind of a bonus.
Yep. Can you talk about what the process is for getting ready for such a big event, or just talk about the event, or why is it so significant, and why does SCAD even have it? Do you know?
I mean, I know our fashion school is top notch.
Yeah.
Like some of the things these kids are making is just extraordinary.
Yeah.
And from the start, like you start going in for fittings you get assigned designers. So my 3 designers that made the show was Aiden Colucci, Jack. Oh, I'm a terrible human being because I can't remember his last name. Wilkins, and Jamie Domrud. Their collections were phenomenal. And so you start going in every week, and you're going with them, getting your measurements done. All of them had to let the pants out because it was like they were like capris, like. But yeah, and then I also worked with Shaylee Stabler. She had a great collection, but then there's 3 fashion critiques, and the first one's like very early preliminary, and it's like the professor's coming in and saying, let's work on this and this and this, like we need to get this moving forward. Second critique is like, okay, like it's really starting to come together. And then the third critique is like, okay, you've got 5 looks, you've the complete 5 collection here, done.
Okay. And
then we're gonna cut one of your looks isn't gonna make it, so okay, which one are we cutting? And you're moving stuff around, and so my look for Shaylee got cut.
Oh, okay.
Which was totally fun. Like I had 5 designers that I was assigned.
Wow.
So
and you're one of their 5. Is that how that works?
Correct.
Okay. Yep.
Correct. So my look with Shaylee got cut, and it was a phenomenal look. But I think their reasoning was that it wasn't very cohesive with the others.
Yeah.
So then you go into jury. The jury show. It's all these jurors, these massive industry professionals, and they're deciding what they want to go into the actual show.
Okay.
That's when you figure out like whose collections are making it.
And this is Vogue, right? Or no?
Yeah, they do the publishing.
Okay, Vogue does the publishing.
I'm sure some of their employees come too.
Yeah.
I don't know all of them.
Yes, no. Okay.
I mean, I had to Google Anna Wintour. Like I don't know anything. Like I kid you not, we're sitting like getting ready. Coco Rocha's on stage, talking to us about like the walking and getting ready and stuff for rehearsals and stuff. And I'm Googling her first. I'm like, who is this? And I'm sitting next to Jonah, and Jonah's like super into all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he like sees me, he like leans over and sees me Googling. He's like, are you seriously Googling this bitch right now? And I'm like, I don't know who this is. And then she starts talking. She mentions Anna Wintour, and I'm like, who? And I start going, he's like, are you serious? And I'm like, ah. And I'm Googling Naomi Woods. I'm like, he's like, you got a problem, dude. And I'm like, but yeah, okay, so jury happens.
Yep.
And then one of those 4 looks gets cut. So then you get down to 3 if you make it.
Okay.
And I think it's a more collaborative process between the jurors and the designers.
Yep.
They say like, how would you feel about moving this to this? So like my final look for Jack, it's like a wool hoodie, and there was these cool wool pants and these massive combat boots.
Yep.
And then it was a blanket like draped around my shoulder. And it looked so cool. It looked so sick.
I think that's the one I've seen.
Probably.
Post. I think maybe I did, because you said you had 3 looks. I can only picture 2, so maybe I didn't see the third one.
It was warm.
That was actually my first thought. I was like, you have like
wool,
a lot of layers.
And the hood was up.
Yeah.
And so at Critique 3, when they were cutting the 5th look, the 5th look was a guy in a cardigan, and it was like a leg length cardigan. Yeah. And they go, what if we take the blanket and then we drape the cardigan and then put the blanket on top? And I'm like, motherfucker. So I'm sitting there and I'm just sweating bullets.
Yep.
And they've got this cardigan draped over and then the blanket, and I'm like, and the lady's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm great. Don't even worry about me. I'm good. I'm good.
Just wake me up if I pass out.
She's like, do you need a fan? And I'm like, nah, I'm straight. We're good. We're good. Luckily, they did end up cutting the cardigan part. Yeah. But it was warm.
Was it a fun experience to be able to walk?
Oh my gosh, it was incredible. It was so much fun. It's such a weird way to think of, like, yes, I walk every single day, but you're not walking like they walk.
Well, it's funny because my mom did modeling before she changed her career path, and so she'll call us out like when we were younger, and we'd be like, she'd have that model critique vibe, and her one thing for me, like, as I was starting to think about maybe acting, was like, hey, watch your walk, like, what are you leading with, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, all right, what are we doing here?
It was crazy. It was so Coco Rocha. Do you know who Coco Rocha is?
No idea.
Massive model. Like,
okay,
she was big in the early 2000s.
Gotcha.
Still is really big. She has like over 2 million on Instagram. So she comes in and is talking with us, doing a little chat, kind of like a masterclass, like a film fest kind of thing.
That's cool.
And then we go out to the museum like courtyard to like start preparing. So we're all sitting in the seats, and she's kind of talking about there's 2 different types of walks, And she's like, what is like one of the main things that you have to worry about? And she's like, and we're all like, posture. And she was like, yeah, posture. Like, even as you're sitting right now, you should be having good posture. And I'm no joke sitting there, and I'm like this. And then I visually see everybody around me do this, and I don't move. I'm still here. I'm just like, and Jonah's like, dude, sit up. And I'm like, no, I'm comfortable. I go, when I'm walking, I'll get my posture right, but this is working, all right? Don't. And so that was funny, is the posture thing. And then she was like, so there's 2 kind of different sides of walk. There's the femme walk and there's a mask walk. And for the femme walk, there's a lot of different variations of it. She went through all those with all the girls and whatnot. And then she's like, for the mask walk, there's kind of 2 different ways you can do it. Like, there's a very basic, like your shoulders, like the very basic, like chest forward, head back, like kind of here, this thing. Or there's this one where you can kind of lean your head forward, almost like you're walking up a hill, and instead of your arms doing this, they're doing this. Like, it's here. So it's like you're almost like swiping. And she goes, that one's significantly harder, but if you can do it right, it looks sick. And I was like, I like a challenge. I'll do it. Hell yeah. And so like I'm like doing it, and I'm like in it, and I'm like probably like second pass through. Like, literally what we did was we just lined up and it was just circles. Yeah. Just doing circles down the runway. And she's standing like on the end of the runway, like giving notes and stuff and tips to people. And, like, second run through, she's like, good job, Davis. I like that walk. And I'm like, yeah, I did that. And it was super cool because at the end of the day, she's like, she has a microphone and she's talking to us. She's like, great work today, guys. Energy's amazing. Just a couple more things before I leave or before we get ready for tomorrow, because tomorrow was like invited dress or whatever. Do you guys want to see my walk? And we were all like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you lead with this? And she goes backstage and she's like in the mic, she's like, there's a full DJ. And she's like, give me something good. And it's like the best song. And she comes around the corner and she's just like working, like it was amazing. And I like don't know anything about it, but I was like watching some of the girls like in the show walking, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. And then she came around and was like, wow, that's the difference between like NFL and like D1. Like that is the difference. Yep. That's crazy. It was incredible.
It's so cool to like have different mediums like that and realize like not only the talent that's there, but like to be like, oh, that's your thing. Like you understand how to walk in that way, or it's like you know how to edit this dumb scene that doesn't work to make it work. You know, it's like those skills like that where you're just like, all I can do is appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
and it's crazy to see somebody who's so proficient in it too. And they make it look so easy, you know?
Yeah.
It's so wild. So wild.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I appreciate you so much for coming on the show.
Dude,
is there anything coming up that you want to promote quick, or any gigs in town, or
I'm playing at the Grove a bunch.
Okay.
And then
how long are you here until you head out?
My lease ends in June, so I'll probably get out of here around mid-June.
Yeah.
But Jonah Panette and I are co-directing. I wrote with AJ Brennan. AJ Brennan and I, the two guys that I've been talking about this whole time. AJ Brennan and I co-wrote a film called Kate McCannon, and Jonah and I are co-directing it. And we have an Instagram up. We did a proof of concept music video.
Okay.
It's gonna be super, super good. We've already got it mostly cast.
Awesome.
But we're still doing a lot of fundraising. We do need to do a lot. We're shooting it in, I think we're shooting it in Tennessee, maybe.
Ooh, okay.
I think we have location. But yeah, definitely go check out the Instagram page.
Right. Awesome.
It's gonna be a really, really good film. It's like 30 pages. It's long.
I feel like that's decent. That's like
it's too long for a short film.
It's too long for a short film, but it's too short for like a.
It's too short for a feature.
So
we have a decision to make. We're getting there. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be great.
No, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you so much for coming on the show, Mike. Thanks so much for helping out as always.
Absolutely, bro.
Let's take camera 2. Thanks everyone for watching. If you made it this far in the episode, consider dropping a like, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next week. Peace.
Thank you guys.